Good morning and welcome to the Media Speaks Live Saturday morning news show for February 20th, 2016, the day after my birthday. So, I'm a little bit slower this morning. Just give me a break. We'll work through it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. I'm not that hungover, so it's fine. Thank you, everyone, for wishing me a happy birthday, including Sam and his wife. I'm joined this morning by Sam I.B. DeGangi, Sam with the correct views, and the band Passing Time, Samuel.
Welcome to the Saturday edition. You got to watch D-Lake's video from last night, by the way.
Oh, you do.
As the quote of the day was, I think a marriage is between one man and one woman. Don't call it gay union, call it something else. No, don't call it marriage, call it something else. Call it gay combination. No, wait, that sucks. Don't call it that. Call it something else.
Gay union sounds better than a gay combination, but yeah, gays, they can come up with something else. It's like,
I agree.
We don't have to be quote unquote married. We could be quote unquote something else, and then you can't stop us because we're doing our own thing. We're gay.
Hey, most of the time, gay people are leftists, so they could have a gay union and be a unionist.
See, I think that's a good one. We're unioned. We're unified. We're unified.
Well, I've lost all our viewers before we even start.
Are you married? No, we're gay. We're unified. I mean, how hard is that? Anyways.
Unified even.
Thanks for picking up and having a favorite part of my rambling birthday show that I like to do when I'm fucked up on my birthday.
It was truly, it was worth watching.
Okay, great. So everyone go check that out. This morning, Saturday morning, Sam, it's been building up it's been building up since last year. And this morning it's happening. Voters have begun casting their ballots in the South Carolina Republican primary this morning, Saturday morning. And Democrats in Nevada are scheduled to begin caucusing later in the day in twin races that will test the strength of anti-establishment fervor. Why do they keep saying that? There's another article, The Outsiders. Look, Trump, okay. Donald Trump is favored to win the Republican primary in the crucial Palmetto state, with Senator Bernie Sanders is battling Hillary Clinton for supremacy in the Democratic caucus in Nevada. Sam, how do you feel about the way that these two races are shaping?
I think it's interesting. Donald Trump mentioned it last night when I was listening to him. He said that he goes, they call me the outsider. He's like, he goes, I made over $1 billion. I was considered an insider until just this summer. Suddenly, I'm the outsider.
Yeah, so he was establishment. Then when he announces now he's anti-establishment.
And he didn't say this, but if you knew anything about him, you could kind of say, wait a minute. Carly Fiorina was in charge of what? Packard?
Yeah, Hewlett-Packard.
And she wasn't considered an outsider. She was considered a businessman. He gets labeled as businessman and outsider.
Right. And funny thing, Sam, let me play a little bit of this. I don't know if you saw these comments from President Obama this week in regards to Donald Trump's presidential run, but listen to this.
I'll leave it to you to speculate on how. And the reason is because I have a lot of faith in the American people. And I think they recognize that being president is a serious job.
And Obama takes it so seriously, right, Sam?
Well, I mean, destroying the nation is a serious business. Just ask Genghis Khan.
Well, listen to this part right here, Sam.
Hosting a talk show.
It's not hosting a talk show.
Or a reality show.
Or a reality show.
It's not.
Well, like The Apprentice.
Promotion.
It's not marketing.
It's not marketing.
Jerry Seinfeld.
It's
right after saying he was sick of celebrityism. Although he didn't say celebrityism. He goes, you get sick of the celebrity.
Yeah. And I mean, he says it's not a reality show, it's hard work. Now, Barack, before you became the president, let me get this straight. You were a community organizer and a junior senator from Illinois. Is that right? Donald Trump is the presidency is the chief executive of the executive branch, the chief executive. Donald Trump has been the chief executive of his company, Trump fucking International, a world-class businessman, for 40 years. And you're saying he's not qualified because the job is so hard and you find it so hard and so difficult. It's not a talk show, even though you go on talk shows all the time. It's not a reality show, even though you're taking your fucking selfies in the Oval Office. Okay, thank you, President Obama. Why don't you whine a little bit more about how hard it is?
A lot of people count on us getting it right.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of pandering and doing whatever will get you in the news on a given day. And so,
oh, well, you want to know what helps Donald Trump get in the news on a certain day? You talking about him, Barack. And then the Pope started talking about Trump this week too. Stan, did you see any of that?
This Pope is, a lot of people have claimed that it's the quote unquote last Pope of the Bible. I don't really know that I believe that verse in the Bible, as a Christian myself, is addressing the Pope. But for those that believe that it is, the last Pope retiring was supposed to signal in the coming of the last false Pope, which a lot of people think that this man is. I'm not Catholic, and I don't think the verse is referring to a Pope. Having said that, if it was true, this man is a dreadful Pope. It actually, oddly enough, lines up easily enough.
Well, beyond the prophecy, what makes him what makes you say that?
The man said that there are many roads to heaven. Now, I'm not implying that people that have never heard of God go to hell. It's very obvious. I hate when people say that. It's very obvious in the Bible that it says that in like 10 different ways that that's not what's going to happen. It is a purposeful rejection of God that will get you out of heaven, particularly Christ. If one religion says that there is only one way, and then the other religion says that if you believe that, then you're going to hell, then it would imply that both Islam and Christianity cannot both be right. I'm not saying anybody should have to agree to that. I mean, I think you should, because I believe it's correct. But I don't think it's something that the government needs to oversee. But in terms of the Pope, for the Pope to say that there's more than one way to heaven, it proves that he wouldn't even know the very first thing about theology. For instance, Hindus believe there are many gods. Christians believe there is one God revealed in 3 parts. The two, no matter what you think of it, cannot both be right. That's impossible. It doesn't. You can. I hate the Pope, and I hate Christ, and I hate God. You're allowed to hate all that. What you can't do is say that they are both the same. It is absolutely impossible for them to both be the same. One has to be right. That's one of his many faults, and that's no other Pope has ever done that but him.
Mm-hmm. And you're aware this week that the Pope was saying that, building walls and borders is, you should build bridges, not walls and borders, and that is not Christian to build borders. Meanwhile, the Vatican, of course, is surrounded by gigantic fucking walls. Sam, I don't know if you're aware of that.
It is not Christian to freaking downplay what's called sola fide, solely by faith, sola scriptura, solely by scripture.
You're more knowledgeable about this than me, Sam. Go ahead.
They're called the tenets of the Christian faith. The man has abandoned the building, the very fundamentals of Christianity, and he calls himself the Pope.
And Donald Trump rejected the notion that, he said it was disgraceful for a religious leader to question another person's faith. And he made other remarks such as, the Pope will wish that I'm the president if ISIS tries to, scale the walls of the Vatican and attack the Pope, which is one of their, malicious desires. But I just want to spin all this around.
Trump put a target on the Vatican as if it never crossed ISIS's mind to hit the Vatican. Come on now.
Oh, no. I mean, he says everyone already knows that's one of their stated goals. I mean, it's not like, oh, Trump said it, now they're going to do it. No,
They're
but
trying to do that.
What?
They're trying to do that.
Oh, the media is trying to spin it that way? Of course they are. The fucking media is so ridiculous. And but I mean, Trump did smooth it out at his town hall. He says, I like the guy, I like his personality, I like the position, the Pope, what it stands for. I don't feel those comments that he made, questioning my faith is really fair. But let me tell you something. And I was trying to say it last night on my drunken birthday show, but let me just try to say it again this morning a little more clearly.
It's such a must-watch.
When you're running for president and you're leading, you're the Republican frontrunner. Look, if Barack Obama talks about you on Tuesday or Monday, and the Pope talks about you on Wednesday, and you're in the news media cycle with Obama, the Pope, I mean, who else is there? I mean, you're going to win. He's going to win today in South Carolina. The results should be coming in about 4 o'clock my time.
Yeah,
South Carolina.
This could hurt Trump more on Super Tuesday when this moves into more of the Catholic states. I didn't know this until.
No, but it'll be old news by then.
The timing of this from the Pope, this just proves, again, I don't know the nuances of Italy either, but it proves he doesn't know the nuances of America because South Carolina is not a heavily Catholic state. That's more of the Upper East, and that's not a primary yet. So, I mean, he really hasn't done Trump much damage by attacking him
No,
in South Carolina.
And he made the remarks on a plane flying out of Mexico where he was. Huh?
No, I was going to say, they're more Baptist. I almost forgot to say that. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, the Pope was down in Mexico, and that's the thing. One of the things that Trump was saying is that he was sort of being like fed one side of the story from Mexico, and then being asked questions about Donald Trump, where he says something that's, sort of Pope-like. Like, he didn't say, and Donald Trump is not a Christian. He said, made generalized remarks about building bridges as opposed to building walls. And it was kind of maybe more metaphorical the way he was saying it. But, the Mexicans and our media picked it up to say that, building a wall on the southern border. Look, ladies and gentlemen, the legislation is already there. It already says in our law that we're supposed to have a fucking border right there. And when illegal immigrants are coming in like the fucking walking through a fucking piece of Swiss cheese, then something has to be done. And Donald Trump will make Mexico pay for it. How will he make Mexico pay for it? Everyone wants to know. Look, let me do some simple math here for you. If we have a trade imbalance with Mexico of $58 billion, we lose $58 billion a year to Mexico because of a trade imbalance. So if we balance it, that means we don't lose $58 billion a year. The wall is going to cost 10 to 12 billion. That's only a fraction of 58 billion. Boom, Mexico just paid for the fucking wall. That's how Mexico pays for the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, it can't be much harder than that. Sam, I mean, what do you think?
He's going to clean the deficit up either way. So, all right, this is where I like Trump, but I'm going to go. Let me shut my thing off here. This is where I have to kind of call Trump out just a little bit. He's already said he's going to fix the deficit everywhere. Then he said he's going to use the money from the deficit to pay for the wall. So technically speaking, he was already going to fix the problem before he decided to use that particular money for the wall. They're both the same plan. But it's fine. I get what he's saying. Most people don't, and it makes him sound like he's double talking. I get what he's saying.
Well, if the trade imbalance is $58 billion and the wall costs $12 billion, then you still have $34 billion left over, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I actually think that is closer to what he's saying. But the way he's saying it at two different parts of the speech makes it sound like it's two separate ideas. And we live in a stupid fucking country that can't figure anything out for themselves. Where everybody in America is really good at math, except for the fact they can't add, supply, multiply, or divide.
Right. And when we're number 30 in the world in terms of education, but number 1 in terms of spending for education per pupil. I mean, come on. Okay, I'm on the state.
Bernie Sanders is right. It would be cheaper to give everyone in the country $20,000 cash than it is to continually pay the money that we are paying for welfare. While I don't agree with his ends, what he's saying is absolutely true. We actually could have a country where everybody made a minimum of $25,000 a year, everyone. And it would still be cheaper if they just gave you the money than it would be to do it the way they're doing it for the people on welfare now, which is actually Right.
All right. Well, Sam, since you're on those lines, do you want to discuss? Real briefly your thoughts on what do you think the outcome is going to look like in the Nevada caucus between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders? How do you think that's going to shape up? Do you think that Sanders is going to pull out a win tonight?
I think he's got a really good chance of showing well in Nevada. He might pull off Nevada. I don't think he's going to win South Carolina because she somehow has managed to align herself largely through the legacy of her husband that African Americans in massive numbers pick her over Bernie, which is interesting considering the fact that I think with her, I don't know that she has a large platform
Sam.
to stand on of saying that she has helped African Americans to any degree. I don't see how that always comes up because it doesn't seem to me that she's done anything whatsoever that has done anything, for instance, to bring down the prison population, which is largely African American in terms, and I'm not saying let the violent.
Well, I mean, those numbers skyrocketed under her husband's administration.
Incredibly so, and it was as bad as and one of the only things Reagan did wrong was the war on drugs. It was a terrible idea when he did it, and it's a terrible idea now that she has gone and done it. And I think what Bernie wants to do, even though there's no way we can afford it, what Bernie wants to do would actually be more helpful than what she's coming up with if you happen to be somebody that is really on that side of things. But I found this. And I look for Bernie to do better in South Carolina than they say he's going to do.
Well, what about today in Nevada? Do you think he's going to eke it out, or at least come really close, or perhaps win?
I think he could probably win Nevada. If somebody put a gun to my head, I'd say Hillary, but I won't be the least bit surprised if he pulls it out.
And how do you feel about Bernie being the anti-establishment candidate, just real quickly before you go to your article? He's been in Congress his whole life, but now he's the anti-establishment candidate.
I can't find out how he's anti-establishment. I'm not sure. I think what it is that he's not taking any money, and I think that's why him and Trump both got that title.
Yeah.
I found this from Jim Hoft, the Gateway Pundit. It said Bernie Sanders was a bum who didn't earn his first steady paycheck until the age of 40 and then wormed his way into politics. He wrote for a magazine about masturbation and rape fantasies for $50 a story, which I don't care anything about that. I get it. It was like, hold down fantasies. It wasn't like going out raping somebody. I get it. It's just interesting because if Trump had written stories about Trump got called a racist for calling Rosie O'Donnell a fat pig, and Bernie Sanders, a lover of women, when he wrote fantasies about rape. Now I get it. They were probably, I know a lot of women like the held down thing, and trust me, it's wonderful. My point is, what if Trump had done it? It's not that I think it's so horribly wrong. If it's something that somebody's reading, like what's the story of O or something, I get it. Bernie had his electricity cut off. He'd run on extension cords from the basement because he refused to pay any of his bills. They said he spent most of his time as an angry radical agitator who never accomplished anything that he had set out to do. But now he wants to run the finances that are going to run your life. And he says on Monday, he said, we will raise taxes. He confirmed, yes, we absolutely will. One of the first jobs was registering for food stamps, and it was all downhill from there. He was penniless, unemployed. He was a carpenter, but his friend said he could barely sink a nail. His friend told Political Magazine his carpentry was not going to support him, and it didn't. He tried freelancing for left-wing magazines. He wrote what they called crudities for $50 a story. He worked, again, that's the least of my worries, except for what Trump gets. He drove around in a rusted-out, Bondo-covered VW Bug with no working windshield wipers. Friends said he was always poor, described him as a slob who kept a messy apartment. Again, that doesn't make any difference. And his friends had, that's what his friends had said. He would talk nonstop about socialism and how if he ever had any power, he would find the rich and stop them from ripping everybody off, which means make them all leave the country and take their jobs away because Bernie raised their taxes too much. I think that's where Trump stands out too.
Well, what about his first wife left him when he moved her into a maple sugar shack with a dirt floor? Did you see that part? I read that article.
Yes, yes. He's also a billionaire. He's considered an outsider along with a neurosurgeon and a billionaire. I thought that was funny too.
It doesn't take much to be an outsider in this presidential race, does it, Sam?
Clearly not. But
they just like to throw that term outsider, anti-establishment outsider. The establishment likes to throw it around to make them seem more radical than maybe they are.
What amazes me with Bernie is that nobody sees a problem with a 85 to 90% sales tax or a total tax on everything. And I think the reason you're going to see that more and more is I'm trying to close my other window here. I think the reason you're going to see that more and more is because now you're breaking.
Okay, Sam just dropped out. Okay. Technical difficulties. Everyone, please stay tuned. He'll be back any second. Because I was trying to do something else on screen share. Great. Okay, Sam won't be back any second. Yeah, Bernie didn't have a decent paying job till he was 40. His first wife left him after he moved her into a sugar shack. His new wife, though, he had a child out of wedlock or something like that. I don't know. Who cares? I mean, come on. Donald Trump's been married 3 times. Other presidents, Ronald Reagan was. I mean, that's their personal life, okay? Did Barack Obama married a man, a transgender? I don't know. But, I mean, that's their personal life. That is their personal life, okay? What's he going to do for the country, okay? First he was in the House of Representatives. Then he became a senator. So he's been in Congress just milking off his constituents. He keeps getting reelected. That's what he's good at. As far as his accomplishments, how much he's done as an independent in Congress, he was always an independent. He's basically just became a Democrat to run in the Democratic Party. Hillary tried to bring it up, saying that
would make him an outsider.
Hillary brought up, Sam, you're back. Hillary brought up that Bernie Sanders was basically brand new to being a Democrat, which is kind of fucked up. They kind of Cruz and the others have been trying to say the same thing about Trump, that he's new to being a Republican. He's not conservative. He's previously held liberal views in his lifetime, including, once saying that he was pro-life over 20 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever it was. But, I mean, Sam, where does abortion lie on your list of issues that you care about from a president? Is it number 1, 11?
I'm convinced that we would be talking about a Rand Paul candidacy with some serious chance of gaining traction if he had not made his leadoff topic abortion. People are more concerned about the people that didn't get aborted than those that did when it comes to picking a president. If you think that's wrong, it might be wrong, but it is true, and if you don't believe that, ask Rand Paul. How did Trump come out as the person who owned the topic of taxes when he came out against Rand Paul, who has an entire lifetime of being against this kind of thing? It was ridiculous. It would be like many of you watching know I love roller coasters. It would be like Kennywood being the one to tell Cedar Point about roller coasters. It doesn't make any sense. The other great question is, and I got cut off from when I was shutting down Windows. Google didn't do that one. I think I did. The reason you don't see people on the left angry about Bernie wanting to raise taxes 80 to 90% is because people on the left that are voting for him have no intention of actually working. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And yes, I said it. That's why they don't care.
And they like the idea of like all the young kids like this like fantasy idea of like free college tuition and just going to school for free.
Second, I think free college tuition is actually one of the things he has that is doable by the number of money that by the number by the amount of money that he wants to cut out of the military. If he wants, and again, I'm not saying you should do it. I'm saying if you look at his money policy, you can do the free college thing if you got the military that much. Now, other people are going to talk about what an awful idea it is, and that Sam just said he was in favor of getting. That's not what I said. But if
well, that actually makes me want to take a closer look at all his policies of his how he's going to get this done. I watched the Democratic debates and stuff like that.
There's not enough money for everything he wants to do there. Like you can't take money from the military. Everyone says the military. There's not enough money in the military to give everybody a standard wage, to give everybody free college.
I believe.
And to give everybody free health care. There isn't enough money to do all three of those at one time. There's enough money to do one. You can get the military and do one.
Sam, is it time for me, Bernie Sanders, to talk? I believe that your kids should make $15 an hour. We should raise the $15 an hour across the board. We'll take the money from the richest 1% of the 1%ers. There's one guy, the billionaires, the Trumps of the world, and the Trumps should pay. Dude, he was saying in the debate that the Trumps of the world are the ones that are going to pay. So I don't know how that really plays in a general election if you're running against Donald Trump.
I wouldn't be in favor of it, but that might work if you weren't setting it up in such a way that he has nothing to stop outsourcing. So as soon as he raises taxes, those billionaires are just going to leave because he has no plan to stop them from leaving, which, I mean, at least Trump does.
Well, you're getting into corporate inversion. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's what you're going to end up with because Trump's idea is to give the billionaires a tax break, but refuse to let them make stuff in other countries.
Right.
That way, we gave you money back so that you could hire people and not move. But now, because we did that, you are not moving. We gave you your money. We let you be billionaire. We made sure you could, you're gonna be a billionaire. I saved you $500,000 in taxes every day. But you are not moving to China, or I am going to charge you so much. That's a brilliant idea. That's the main reason that I am voting for Trump. It's the primary driving reason. The main thing that makes me want to do this is the job.
Mm-hmm. And I know there's probably some people that have been watching the Media Speaks for a long time that get a little concerned if the show starts to veer a little Trump-centric. There's obviously one person that immediately dislikes all of our videos every time, and I think it's because they do not like Donald Trump. But, fuck you. One person that dislikes our videos. Think we care about your stupid one thumbs down? Think I care?
Which would be ridiculous because we're also the only people that at least every week or two cover Gary Johnson and McAfee running against each other. You're not going to hear that.
We just got done talking about Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, they're not going to hear that anywhere. Well, they might hear Sanders, but they're not going to hear anybody else talking about McAfee and Johnson. There isn't any new news about it, so what do they want us to talk about?
Oh, there is some new news about McAfee Johnson, though, because I think, what's his name, Stossel, on one of the media channels. He was really heavy for Ron Paul. I think the interviewer guy, news reporter guy that I'm talking about, John Stossel, I think it is. But they're trying to have a libertarian debate broadcast, on a major news network, just like the Republicans and the Democrats. And possibly on the stage could be McAfee and, of course, Gary Johnson and maybe other people. Maybe Jesse fucking Ventura, who's been talking about it.
Imagine. I mean, I can see it now. We've got Gary Johnson, who successfully ran a state.
New Mexico.
And won twice. And then we've got John McAfee, which never made a virus killer that ever killed a virus. It seems like Gary's going to walk away with this.
Oh, well, what if Jesse Ventura jumps into that debate?
Ever since he said he wanted
talking about Howard Stern being a great vice president for the United States.
Yeah, he lost all interest in me after that. After that, it was real simple, dude.
Human what?
I put the wall up after that. Look, you
put the wall up, Sam.
Yes, I refused after that. I put the everything out, and I refused.
Oh man. So have we exhausted the political discussion, Sam? Do you want to get into some science news? Go ahead.
We've got the news from the science front. I haven't done these.
Yep.
I'm giving you news on how we can smell Alzheimer's. Yes, that's right. They're making a test where they can smell Alzheimer's. I've been doing all kinds of stuff like that. Maybe I'll get to that next week. But I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Sam, quit going to space." As I die.
Excuse you. All right.
Nothing to drink here. It's like living in a desert.
Take a sip of something there, Sam, real quick.
There isn't. It's my house. There's never anything to drink in my house. Mirror.co.uk. Advanced civilization may have built alien megastructure, says SETI astronomer Seth Shostak. Now, this is the second or third. I know there was one on Halloween that I did, and it was a real story on Halloween about this. You and I think since then have covered, or it was right before, have covered alien, like major people speaking of alien and otherworldly news before. And I know there's a lot of people that don't believe in it. And I'm not saying that you should. I'm saying it's interesting that they are at least setting us up to say, hey, the aliens are real. And a lot of people believe it's just going to be the government lying to us to get us to comply with whatever the particular agenda is at the time that these aliens so magically appear. That might be the case. I don't know. It might. Hold on one second. Hey, Nancy. Well, never mind.
Okay, I have an article pulled
Here
up
we
here.
go. The world's top extraterrestrial hunting astronomer has refused to rule out the possibility of an alien megastructure that has been spotted around a distant star. Seth Shostak, director of Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, which is SETI, told Mirror Online that his team has been unable to disprove the theory that a massive artificial structure is causing the mysterious light pattern spotted around a distant star. Astronomers from SETI have spent 2 weeks analyzing radio signals emanating from a star called KIC 8462852, but they have been unable to fully decide whether the strange dimming of the star's light is caused by some undiscovered natural phenomena or the presence of a massive megastructure. Again, if that seems far-fetched to you, my dear listeners, then ask yourself, what are they preparing us to get, what do they want us to believe? Either way, the story is of interest, so don't zone out. Some experts have suggested this mystery object could be a Dyson sphere, a huge solar power plant built around a star in order to harvest energy. I don't know. I kind of believe that would still be easier, and no matter what resources you had, it would be easier to do that on the planet than in space, even with the energy that's lost, because it would be very hard to get the energy out of space and back into the planet. And again, you say, well, it's an alien world. You don't know what they're like. I'm assuming basic physics would apply. It says you could say, because, I mean, you got to remember, listeners, you lose energy in the wires going from the power plant to your house. Imagine the amount of energy you would lose going from space to a planet. The energy would have to get through the atmosphere of the planet. So I don't know that I'm sold on this. It says you could say that maybe this is a Dyson sphere built around an advanced society, a ring world, or some other kind of megastructure. Maybe there I could see the ring world, like a huge space station. However, SETI has not been able to conclusively prove exactly what's going on around Tabby's star, which Shostak fondly refers to as Bob. SETI astronomers use the Alien Technology Telescope Array to search for radio alien waves and may have been a hailing signal. They also looked for microwaves, which could have been produced by repair rockets working to service the structure. And although neither of these satellite signals have been found, Shostak said this could be down to the fact that our tools aren't sensitive enough to spot them. Again, if something doesn't add up, the first thing they do then seems to be to, well, blame the people looking. It says, we didn't find signals, he continued, but this is like peeping down at Africa from a window on the International Space Station, failing to spot any large animals and then concluding that there are no elephants on the whole continent. We can't rule out the possibility that aliens have built this huge structure. And when pushed, he said he thought that astronomers would eventually discover the dimming of the stars caused by a natural phenomenon. So he's not even saying that's what it is. He's just saying they couldn't prove it, which is quite a backpedaling. And said he cited the examples of pulsars, which send out regular pulses of radio waves. Again, I understand that, but if you got hit by a pulsar light from a radio wave, it would fry whatever it is you've got trying to collect it.
So aliens might exist, but we have reasonable doubt to suspect that they don't, or reasonable doubt to suspect that they do exist.
You see what I mean? Yeah, you could take the way he said that either way.
Mm-hmm.
These were initially thought to be messages from alien civilization, and when discovered in the 60s, these pulsar stars, until they were fully explained by Nobel Prize-winning research. It says we should be careful not to throw out new ideas, one of which says the dimming of the Tabby star is caused by an alien civilization. So now he's backpedaling. But my guess is that someone will have an idea of what causes this within the next year, and they will prove it by looking at other stars and seeing the same thing happening. If they see the same thing happening, it's probably not an alien. But even if Tabby's star was an alien stronghold, it would take thousands of years to communicate with them because of the sheer distances involved. Or they're working on that too. We've talked about how they're trying to bend space so that we could actually send signals a little faster. It would be hundreds of years instead of thousands, but you would at least have some hope of getting a message if you could find one that maybe a tad closer than this one.
Okay.
It would be like putting a message in a bottle and tossing it into the Atlantic. He asked the alien hunter what he thought would happen if the aliens spotted us first. It would be like humans meeting trilobites, because aliens could be trillions of years more advanced than us. Yeah, but they could also be so differently advanced that we looked advanced to them. And this is a theory I'm going to throw out there before I finish as your humble host here. What if they could travel great distances, for instance, and had never discovered penicillin? What if their body, and I'm just using a what if their body structure was as close to us as to need penicillin? And they see us and they're like, oh my God, they turned mold into a cure. Those earthlings are so far further advanced than we are. Meanwhile, they're flying from star to star, and we have no idea how to even begin to contemplate that. It depends on what it is that you're looking at as to whether or not we're advanced. Look at the picture in this article. What if we found a way for nutrition, and we could actually put some meat on the bones of this starving blue alien? Something like that.
No, Sam. What if they come to the planet and see humans walking dogs and then picking up dog feces and putting it into plastic bags, and they think that the dogs are our rulers? I mean, what if that happens?
That could very well happen. It says that the aliens could be aggressive because aggression is favored in the Darwinian system, but they could be peaceful. So that sentence makes no sense at all. Humans only begin emitting power. They could be nice or they could be mean. No shit. Humans only begin.
We always anthropomorphize aliens, though. We always human-like equate. I mean, because what else do we have to say what they are, right? So.
Who knows? Maybe the fact that we've been able to manipulate the noises that come out of us into a language would be considered genius to them. You don't know, like how many.
When they see the CGI in the new Avengers, they will say that we are the most advanced civilization they've ever come across in the galaxy.
Perhaps. It says humans only began emitting powerful signals during the Second World War, he said, meaning it could take thousands of years for aliens to have spotted them and decided to come to us and visit. And it's actually the Hitler Olympics is the first thing ever sent. To say that they have a motivation to come here anyway, he asked. Earth probably doesn't have much that they don't already have except rock and roll. Again, who knows? Because we don't even know what they've been able to see from us either. He's previously said that humans will find aliens within 2,000 years. Again, he really went out on a limb there, didn't he? And not necessarily the most astute of our news from the science front people, but interesting in making, if nothing else, you wonder which direction they're going.
No, Sam, I thought that was a really good article. I don't know if you saw this. It was just posted on the Drudge Report actually this morning that flying cars, one of your favorite topics, Sam, are only 2 years away.
I had missed that, and I am upset.
Flying cars are just 2 years away, Sam. Terrafuga claims its TFX will be ready to take the skies by 2018. A U.S. firm, Terrafugia?
That's them. I love them, yes. Are these the ones that fly themselves?
Their designs for a concept vehicle are in development. The designs include fold-out wings and helicopter-like rotor blades, or drone-like, if you want to call them that. The vehicle will have a cruising speed of around 200 miles per hour. Firm experts, the Terrafuga expects an unmanned prototype will be ready to soar by 2018. Unmanned, Sam, is that what you were just saying? Here's a picture on my screen share of the TFX. Here's some concept photos of it.
Did you have to have a pilot's license, or is this the one that flies itself?
They make it sound more like it's going to be kind of like flying itself.
I want it.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the new TFX. Let's see if we can watch a little bit of this.
You know, I save money for a flying car. I really do, like a little bit every day.
I have to skip this ad in 1, 2, 3 seconds. Sam, skipping ad, playing futuristic commercial. The future of transportation. Here we go. The TFX. It pulls out of your garage just like any old normal car. Kind of looks like a boat. It's got weird fold-out wings. Let's see what's going to happen. Now, Sam, if the aliens are watching this, they're going to think that we are, like, amazing, even though this is all, like, CGI. No runway needed, Sam. It doesn't take off straight up, does it? No way. No fucking way. Computer-controlled flight, it says.
There you go.
Just tell us where you want to go, Sam.
Pause it. I have a prediction though. You're gonna have to land these at little private airports, and you're gonna find these opening up like gas stations. The reason I predict that is just because it could take off from, well, I guess it steers itself, but you're gonna end up with too much traffic in the air over time. But go ahead.
Yeah, so we're gonna need sky freeways and all kinds of other stuff. Here we go. It flies for you. I think that's what Sam was talking about.
Yeah, that's the one. D-Lake, I'm obsessed with this. I don't know how I missed it.
Twin electric motor pods. They open up like helicopter blades. A distributed electrical system. I'm just reading what it says. A megawatt of power lifts you. And there you go. You're in the sky with the helicopter blades. Electric motors. Engine recharges the batteries. Ducted fan provides thrust. Propellers fold for cruise. There you go. You're cruising 200 miles per hour cruise speed. Oh, you're going over the city. Now, what? Whoa. There you go. That image right there addresses what Sam was just talking about. Okay. There it is. It's flying like over the county towards the mega city there in the distance. That looks like Los Angeles. But keep in mind in this video, right there, there's only one of them. Now, what Sam was just saying is, Sam, what happens when everyone has one of these motherfuckers?
Well, the fact that they are steering themselves is going to help a bit because I think they're flying under most commercial traffic and they are going to be programmed to fly around each other. Having said that, if these take off in the millions, my prediction is you're going to have to land and fly these with some kind of log flight pattern. I don't think it's going to be as tedious as it is today. It'll probably be handled again with computers. I don't think it's going to be that complicated. Like I said, I'm obsessed with this. I really follow every story I can get my hands on this. I'm like a low grade expert here. I'm looking long term. Maybe not in our lifetime, but within the time that we're about to kick the bucket, I think you're going to find them being like, all right, look, we've got to find some kind of structure to how we're flying these things because even though they can steer around each other, they're everywhere. And there's going to be privacy issues about what you're allowed to fly over at what height. So, I mean, it's going to need nuanced, but I am excited about it. And I do think at least the more rich people will be doing this within the next 20 years or so. I'm also, what I do is I keep, every day I go to work, I keep like $1 out, just $1. I've only got a few $100s. I've been doing this for a couple of years. And a lot of people are going to buy them as a group of people. If it's $200,000, 4 or 5 people are going to buy this thing and then share it at different times. And it's going to be like almost like the only way people the middle class or so would ever be able to get one would be to get one for many of you. And I think you're going to see that as well.
Okay. Sam, it appears just looking at our viewers that every time you're talking, people start joining, and then we have a bunch of people watching. Then every time I say something, people drop out immediately. So, Sam, if you could just take the wheel for a second of the flying car, so to speak, and segue us into entertainment news. You said you had a lot of it. Let's hear what you got.
I've been swarmed with entertainment. I'm going to get this.
Give it to me, man. Let's do it.
I'm going to get some post-Grammy stuff right after I do this. The only reason I mentioned this, Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock came from 2 different planets, it says. And we've covered Leonard Nimoy on here before, and everybody was very happy with the send-off I gave the man. Well, this was something new from the day.
Yes.
They bonded over Star Trek slights, such as people saying that it didn't work, anti-Semitic slurs because they were both Jewish and they both had bad marriages. They had a final falling out though, and I'm not going to read the whole article, but
wait, Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner are Jewish?
Yes. Nimoy more I believe Orthodox. I might be wrong on this.
Oh yeah, okay.
It says in late '65 when Shatner and Nimoy met on the set of the Star Trek pilot, Shatner recalls, "I doubt either Nimoy nor I realized that we'd work together in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. They were actually on screen together and had forgotten that they had done it." Their friendship was shattered, it said, in the last few years over Nimoy's life over a smaller incident, and Nimoy never spoke to Shatner again, who, of course, is now 84. And he said, "It's something I will consider about and regret forever. He was my closest friend in the world," Shatner writes. "My 50-year friendship with a remarkable man." It's a book he just wrote. And basically, they were Shatner was doing a documentary about Star Trek, and it said it infuriated Leonard that he went into therapy to deal with it, and Leonard's own family said he was disconnected from family issues. He was a horrible alcoholic, and when Nimoy got lung cancer, well, CYPD, he told Shatner, "Why didn't you make me quit?" In other words, almost like a joke, but they were trying. Shatner just quit smoking, and Leroy could not, and let that be a wake up for everyone. That ended up killing him. And when they had their falling out, it said Shatner was making a film about the captains of the Enterprise, and Leonard didn't want to be any part of it. A cameraman shot him at a convention, and it was included in the film, and Leonard never spoke to Shatner again. Uh, which, doesn't make a lot of sense to get that angry over it, especially when you were at a convention. It wasn't like he was a major part of it, but I thought it was interesting. It'll be an interesting book. It's a very long article. You're going to want to read it, but I think if I spend too much time on it, I am going to lose all the viewers. But that's the nuts and bolts of the article. They are starting a new Star Trek series. It's going to premiere in 2017. So for you Trekkies, there are definitely going to want to go to the Daily Mail and check this out.
Oh, yeah. People are going to want to see that.
On to the ridiculousness of the Grammys. Those of you that follow metal know that the only one that anybody even cared about was Ghost, who won the best heavy metal song, and no one knows how. It was the least interesting of all of them. The Slipknot song that lost, Custer, may have had the best second verse of any song written in the entire year.
Is that right?
And then, Custer has amazing lyrics.
Okay.
The second verse of that. And it's also got all the normal attitude of any other Slipknot song, of course. This is got page 6. Kanye West had an epic meltdown backstage.
Oh, Jesus. You said he had a lot of entertainment news. I didn't know Kanye was going to be mentioned.
But the thing is with this...
Look, don't talk shit about Kanye West. He's better than Pablo Picasso, Michelangelo,
talentless
Jimi Hendrix. Name someone he's better. Name someone he's better. Name any artist. He is better. Go ahead.
Kooky Kanye West threw an epic tantrum behind the scenes Saturday Night Live and petulantly threatened to walk out of the show during the broadcast. Let me tell you what. If I find out that Kanye West is on Saturday Night Live, that immediately means that I am not going to tune in. So I wish he would have laughed. Nobody watches this man. He had to cancel a tour because nobody was showing up to see it.
Dude, he would have got more press and better press had he left. He needs to learn something from Donald Trump, man. Sometimes you got to get up and walk away from the table, from the negotiation table, and just be like, bye-bye. And he would have got 10 times the amount of press had he walked out.
Well, they've got his meltdown.
He was complaining because the stage wasn't magnificent enough for his awesomeness.
Yes, that's what he was complaining about. They've got his meltdown on Saturday. You can find it uncensored.
Oh, jeez. I got to go watch that.
He had a meltdown, threatened to walk off, didn't like the stage. Michael said the source, he was eerily calm through the incident. I guess after 41 years of doing this, he's used to it. The people on the crew were just very calm and very, used to the attitude. But it's funny, the attitude is coming from somebody with absolutely no talent. And then speaking,
well, I heard he lost roughly $10 million in sales because his new album Life of Pablo was only coming out on Tidal, which is Jay-Z's piece of crap website. And the album cover looks ridiculous. His lyrics sound ridiculous. His music is ridiculous. And for him to say he's the best artist, he can just probably he's not.
Miserable. And then you've got Lauren.
And then he was begging for money from Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. He's saying, Mark Zuckerberg, give me $1 billion for my amazing ideas. I'm the best artist ever in the world.
Or we've got this from the Hollywood Reporter. And regular listeners know, I hate vocal running. That's not singing, that is whining or exercising. If vocal running is in it, it sucks. The Grammys announced a performance by Miss Lauryn Hill prematurely and without approval. Mrs. Hill has had concerts all weekend, leaving no time to prepare. So basically, she ducked out of the Grammys. And you know what? Nobody cared. Because absolutely nobody is a Lauryn Hill fan. I swear to God. So who gives a damn? The Grammys announced a performance by Miss Lauryn Hill.
Wait, did Lauryn Hill boycott the Grammys because they're not black enough?
She said that she didn't have time to prepare. It's probably because she's black enough. The trouble is, nobody is interested in you. Nobody wanted to see you anyway because nobody likes vocal running unless, of course, they're addicted to soul music, which hasn't changed in the last 35 years, except for
Lauren Hill's had some hits. Isn't she past her prime?
more vocal running with no talent. All right, it's something that does matter. The Rap.com, Vanity dead at 57.
Oh, Vanity, yeah.
Prince prodigy known for Nasty Girl, also known as Nikki Sixx's ex, one of the most beautiful models of the 80s, died at 57, kidney failure, and she recently battled an abdominal illness. Last year, the singer put up a GoFundMe page stating that she was diagnosed with inflammation of the small intestine and sclerosis encapsulating pernitosis. Born in Canada, she initially focused on modeling. She also did music. She had Nasty Girl, Pretty Mess. In 1994, she had a crack cocaine overdose. It almost left her with total kidney failure.
Dude, this is what I like. Look at those eyes, man. I like this. This is what I like.
Nikki Sixx got to enjoy that beautiful woman. Later became a Christian, which was beautiful. She became a Christian. She said, when I came to the Lord Jesus Christ, she
God. Look at her right here. She is so pretty.
Knocked out. She threw away like 1,000 of her tapes when she became a Christian, which I thought was a bit much. She got a kidney transplant in 97 and devoted herself to evangelism and speaking at churches. She was married to the Los Angeles Raiders back when they were in LA, where I think they should be. In 95, and she divorced the following year, of course, with Ollie Cruz, Nikki Sixx. MC.
You said she was married to the Los Angeles Raiders, like the whole team?
No, Anthony Smith. I think a great loss. She seemed like a really, really nice person who got her act together and got her life together. And unfortunately, no longer with us. The last of my entertainment. I had so much today.
Really a beautiful woman and a talent in the music industry. And, it's sad that she has passed away. Sam, is your next story another fucking obituary?
One more it is.
Oh, God.
The father.
Every week on the Media Speaks is Sam's new section, the obituary column. Go ahead, Sam.
It is. Punky Brewster's dad.
No, Sam, Sam, next week, hopefully you're going to be doing an obituary section for Jeb Bush's presidency, his presidential campaign.
You can only hope. Page 6, George Gaines, Punky Brewster star, of course, Police Academy.
Wait, who?
The guy from Police Academy, George Gaines, Punky Brewster's dad, for crying out loud, died at the age of 98. 98, D-Lake. You know how long he lived? Of course, he portrayed the foster parent in the 80s sitcom Punky Brewster. He was in Police Academy, which was maybe one of the top 10 funniest movies of the entire.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah, he was good. He was still alive?
He was in his 60s then, dude. He died at 98. He was an old man then.
There he is.
He made hundreds of appearances on TVs and comedies in 35 films, both
Police Academy.
TV movies. He was in soap operas. He was in Punky Brewster. He was in Tootsie, which of course won the Academy Award. He won Police Academy. He was in Molly Dodd. And just on forever and ever and ever. Mission Impossible, The Defenders, Bonanza, Mannix, Hogan's Heroes, $6 Million Man, Hawaii Five-0, and Chicago Hope, General Hospital, Search for Tomorrow, The Way We Were, Altered States, which is an amazing.
Oh, I love that movie.
Must watch Altered States.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I feel like.
Who was that? William Hurt or somebody? That's a good one.
How do you feel? I feel like my heart is being touched by Christ.
So this guy was in everything.
He was in Wag the Dog.
Oh yeah.
He outlived his wife, who I'm assuming is just married, and he retired in 2003 after being in Just Married with Ashton Kutcher and the gorgeous Brittany Murphy, who of course is also no longer with us. So there you go, friends. I've given you a
There he is.
Did we lose all the listeners?
George Gaines dies.
It's a shame.
Man, that's terrible. Leave it to Sam to put everyone in a great mood by telling you about all the amazing people that have passed away.
Is anybody still listening? Did I depress them all?
George Gaines dies. I had a birthday. It's the cycle of life. Hakuna Matata. Okay, everybody?
D-Lake is alive and well.
Well, why?
What do you got for entertainment, D-Lake? And don't play comic book.
I don't know. I did a whole show last night about how I watched Straight Outta Compton yesterday. Sam, I know you're not a big fan of that movie. I'm gonna watch The Martian maybe later on tonight.
You said you almost. I wasn't the Eazy-E. Who did you make me like the satellite member?
Yeah, you're fucking no. MC Ren is dope, dude. Yeah, but yeah. I'm like, Sam is kind of like the one guy that was sort of always there, but like wasn't really on like the main stage. Like,
You said you were the primary lyricist.
I was drunk. It was my birthday, Sam. I was just talking a bunch of shit. I'm sorry, but Sam, you were talking shit about Eazy-E. I'm like, if I call Sam the Eazy-E of the group, he's gonna be pissed.
Oh, the man who deliberately gave people AIDS just to get laid.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, if I call Sam Eazy-E, he's going to be mad at me forever.
Oh, God. What else do you got, D-Lake? I'm dying.
Oh, and I watched Deadpool, though. I watched Deadpool, and I thought it was really funny, and I thought it had good action, and it looked cool, and I really liked Colossus being in there, and Deadpool trying to, like, punch Colossus. That was a riot. And, Sam, did you see Star Wars yet?
Yes, I loved it. Don't give away the big
Star Wars. Don't say anything about Han Solo, or what are you talking about?
Yeah. You want to avoid what happens. Yeah, we can give you that much.
The movie has been out long enough, Sam. We can say it. Can we say it?
No, this late into it, it is worth seeing because of Han Solo. We can leave it at that. We can leave it at that. We don't want to.
But did you like it overall? Did you think it was as good as the old ones? I mean, my problem with it. One of my problems with it is they didn't have any new. They didn't have very much. The newness was really lacking. It's like they still fly TIE fighters and X-wing fighters like 30 years later, but they have no other fighters. Where was the Y-wing? Where was the Z-wing? Where was the?
I had a problem.
Spacecraft. I mean, where was the new spacecraft? They had like one new fucking alien. And one new fucking, they didn't have enough newness.
I liked the story. I had one.
The story was great.
I had one problem with the way that they get carried away with two things. First of all,
the Force.
A massive plane tries to take off in the movie and it's held down by a chain. That would never have happened in a million years. That was the stupidest scene ever. I've never seen a stupider scene in a science fiction movie than that scene. The other part I had a problem with was where the Millennium Falcon starts bouncing off of the planet's surface without exploding or breaking apart. And there's some shields. But those two scenes were two of the stupidest scenes I've ever seen. Having said that, the rest of the movie is a win.
Those Men in Black CGI suction cup monsters that came out after them when they were trying to like get out of there on the Millennium Falcon, those looked ridiculous. And yeah, maybe they were supposed to be new. Dude, just throw a fucking Rancor pit monster in that scene, why don't you? With your fucking using all the same stuff. Like, yeah, I know you had to have a lot of nods to the old school, but you didn't have enough new, like brand new. Yeah, some of the characters were new, but just not enough newness. I mean, Chewbacca's back. Great. Have a new Wookiee that's Chewbacca that we never met before. How about have like then at the end it's Admiral Akbar and and the guy from Return of the Jedi, they're the same. They look the same age.
You had some new droids.
We have BB-8. We have one new droid. I don't know. Maybe there were some other new droids. And R2-D2 was there. And C-3PO had a red arm. He's like, "Oh, you might not recognize me because of my red arm." I'm like, that was pretty funny. I liked the movie overall. Everyone go see it. Jeez, I mean, we just turned into a review about the Star Wars movie.
We on the fly.
Came out back in December, but sometimes it takes us a long time before we actually see a movie like this.
To our defense, if we had talked Star Wars early, people would have immediately shut it off. I know I did. I didn't. I watched one preview.
I was on here last year showing you guys the previews. Like, we got to go see this.
I would not watch them. At any time someone talked about Star Wars, I wouldn't watch it till I saw the movie. So I mean, there's a lot of people that wouldn't have watched this if we.
Sam's like George Costanza's dad. I like to go in fresh.
Yes.
Don't spoil anything.
Not a thing.
That was a funny part in Deadpool. He's like, "Have you ever seen 127 Days?" Spoiler alert. Or 172 Hours. That movie with James Franco. Where, spoiler alert, he cuts his arm off.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny of Deadpool.
Anyways,
that's what I had in entertainment. I've been basically in my entertainment news. Oh, you know what else I have in entertainment news, Sam?
A terrible steak from Dave & Buster's.
My friend's chocolate shake didn't even taste like a shake. They didn't even put ice cream in it. It was like chocolate milk with.
I've always wanted to go, but never did. I don't think we have one.
Dave & Buster's? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's a fun time. But I have one more thing in entertainment news. Netflix just put on Better Call Saul. And I'm on like episode 5 or 6 or something. I'm probably going to watch a little bit of that today.
That wasn't a new Black Mirror you gave me, by the way. I was so upset.
I'm sorry, say again, the Black Mirror? Did you already see White Christmas?
Yes, it was an old Black Mirror. I was so upset.
That was an old one? Well, did you know that Netflix just signed Black Mirror for an entire giant third season? Start like in March. Oh, and the Daredevil starting next month with the Punisher looks amazing. But Better Call Saul is great. Have you watched any of that? It's like a prequel series to the Breaking Bad show with Walter White and
I didn't watch Breaking Bad either. But
oh man, big Breaking Bad fan here, and just starting to watch Better Call Saul. I know there's probably a lot of people that agree with me that those are good shows. So leave your comments below. Which do you like better, Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul? Everyone likes Breaking Bad better, but they like Better Call Saul because it has intertwinements into the story, but it's kind of like a prequel. I mean, Mike is there, Tuco is there, people that are already dead in the world that we know, but we get to see them, what happened before then. So I think that's all pretty cool.
yeah.
All right. Oh, my birthday cake. Let me blow out the candle.
Yes. 3, 2, 1. Look at that, friends. Oh, yes. It's
All
true.
right. Let's eat some cake, dude. Pour juice on your chin.